Greetings War Thunderers, this is Longshot with you again, and in this video I'm going to up-tier the P-40E Kittyhawk. Okay, the idea of these up-tiering videos is to take a plane that performs quite well at its normal battle rating, in this case 2.0, and fly it in a lineup that's at least 1 tier and 1.0 battle rating higher. And I'm doing that because it's a challenge. It pushes me to fly to the best of my abilities as I'm going up against superior aircraft, and it's immensely satisfying when I manage to pull off a good game against the odds. And I've set myself the goal here of achieving 10 kills in a battle, preferably without losing my plane. Okay, so the P-40. Over the years it's had so many flight models that I've run out of fingers to count them on, and I've started with my toes. Its current FM is one of the weakest it's ever had, as the rudder can put the plane into a stall spin, its low speed handling is very sloppy, and it's become a very poor turner. And because I wanted a challenge, I decided to fly it in a 3.7 rated Tier 3 lineup, where it should be outclassed by pretty much everything it faces. And I'll start with a clip from a domination battle. Now the plane is still a fairly decent boom and zoomer, so I started off trying to perform high-speed intercept attacks at low altitude, and domination battles such as this one at Corson were perfect for this strategy, as there's always plenty of targets at ground level. So I dive in from an altitude of around 1500 metres, build up plenty of speed, and then use the excellent roll rate to line up a target. In this example there's a bunch of fighters heading to my left, which is great as that takes me back toward my own fighter spawn. And I'm going to, I've got an oblique angle of approach which is perfect, lets me land a long volley that sets the TIFI alight, then I have to stop shooting for fear of hitting a friendly, and there's no point trying to follow those planes as they break off. And that strategy worked pretty well, provided I was able to regain my altitude between each attack. But later in this battle a higher P-38 prevented me from climbing, so I ended up fighting at ground level, and yes, like a newbie, I'd forgotten to reload. My speed is already low, and it drops alarmingly when I turn the plane. And speaking of turning, the Spitfire would be on my tail in seconds if his engine was still working. Pretty sure I stole someone else's kill here. But that's the thing, at low altitude I always found myself getting low on energy and in a lot of trouble. And this shows that. Here's that P-38, and I simply can't quite lift the nose up high enough to lead him. See, the nose just lags behind. And neither can I climb. I'm below 200 kilometers an hour here. Either the engine on this plane's really weak or the plane itself is too heavy, but either way it has terrible acceleration. And it becomes really obvious when you're fighting with someone who has an altitude advantage on you. I'm struggling simply to keep up with him, let alone climb to his altitude. I feel like I'm actually flying a stock level pea shooter here. Alright, he's turning my way, so I stay low to maximise my speed, lift up, and still I can't follow his turn, can only manage a very short burst on target. And that kind of thing happened in most low altitude battles. Sooner or later I got low and slow. So I needed to climb higher, but that was far from easy. The next clip shows the difficulties I faced in doing this, and I narrated this battle while flying the plane. Up into a climb, make sure I'm not crashing into anyone. And then port to the left. I want to climb around 260-ish minimum. What have we got in this battle? 3.7 planes. I should probably, there's an 085 which is a 4.0 tier 3. P-63 as well. Yeah, this is tuned up enough. Tuned up, what did I say tuned for? This is tiered up enough. And I've got a squad out this side as well. I really don't want to tangle with those pair of doom yaks. Just hang back for now and gain altitude and see where that gets me to start off with. I wonder when those yaks are going to make a decision about what they're going to do. They seem to be pretty patient right now as well. And it looks like the Yak-7 at least, probably both of them, has me targeted, and possibly the P-38 following me hasn't helped in that regard. Oh, he's turning to engage now. We'll just hold off and observe just a bit longer. See what comes of it. If he drags them down, then that works very well from my point of view. Okay, I need to engage. Oh, great. Oh, great. Okay, head on then snap roll. Snap rolled a fraction too late. And straight down into a dive. Hoping it's enough to get away. Yep. 9T's following. Wonderful. How far down does he want to come? All the way. Right, hard brake. Drawing quite enough lead there. Look at that rudder, so strong it almost stalled my plane. Come on, catch a light. Right, beautiful. Phew. Well, that's one dogfight I did not expect to win, but yes, in many battles I was forced down off bomber altitude by enemy fighters. But when I did gain control of what passes for high altitude in arcade, the plane's weaknesses were not exposed nearly as much. I could exploit its high-speed handling, plus I was able to engage enemies while they were climbing. And that went a long way toward levelling the playing field. And this battle showed how effective the P-40 could be, with an altitude advantage. That LA-5FN is trying hard to climb and engage me, but he'll still be over 1 kilometre away when he runs out of energy and he'll have to drop his nose. See him firing away at long range as he realises he lacks the speed to get closer. Okay, now I can rudder to the right with a bit of up elevator, and that set up a nice deflection shot which he can't avoid due to his low energy state. But of course, before I can shoot him down, first I have to take out his central gear leg. And now I'm in danger of overshooting, so I lift up to initiate a rolling scissors, and I see a P-39Q approaching as well. But unlike the Yaks in the previous battle, I have the energy advantage here, plus both enemies decided to ignore me in favour of attacking a passing Wellington. And with that, I have control of bomber altitude in this battle. So now I need bombers to shoot down or enemy fighters trying to climb up, I don't mind which. And yes, here comes the LA-5 pilot looking for revenge in a Yak 9T. His plane is far better than mine, and because of my altitude, I hold all of the advantages here. I merely have to wait until he's close to stalling, and then swoop in for an easy kill. It doesn't get much simpler than that, and that's what I really like about the airplanes part of War Thunder. If you know what you're doing, you can shoot down far more powerful planes than your own. And as I zoom climb, the P-39 pilot is climbing back up in a P-51, with a Yak 3 not far behind. I have plenty of altitude to play with, so I loop back to fly above them. And now I need to decide how to engage. I think of attacking the P-51, but the Yak is within 2 kilometres and I'm not sure how much energy he's carrying, so I decide to wave off for now. And the Yak dives away, but the moment has passed as the P-51 recovers its speed, and now my friend Ipa is climbing back up in a premium Thunderbolt. He engages a friendly P-63 in a head-on, and that will leave him completely exposed to my diving attack. I've just got to get guns on target. There we go. And as I zoom climb, I've just got to relocate that P-51. Right, there he is, dancing with a firefly, and that's not going to end well for him. I have to be extremely careful about regaining my altitude after each attack and keeping my manoeuvres to a minimum. It's so easy in this plane to lose speed and so hard to recover an energy advantage once it's lost. It can only recover actually about 1500 metres in a typical zoom climb, which is quite low by Tier 3 standards. Anyway, my friend Ipar is back again and a Yak 9K, and I'm going to waste no time here, diving immediately into a boom and zoom attack. Okay, he tries to turn underneath me, I roll a bit to adjust, and then set him alight for what would have been kill number 5, but like so many ground strike battles, the game is about to end. I really needed a good long air domination battle if I was to have any hope of reaching my goal of 10 kills. So here we go, air domination Mozdok. My setup is a 300 meter convergence using the Omni belt with 30 minutes of fuel. I climb sideways to the battle at a minimum speed of 260 kilometers an hour, and I'll just skip ahead a bit. Okay. Only one enemy fighter has climbed this high, a P-51, which is a superior plane to the P-40 in pretty much every way. The question is whether or not he sees me as a threat even, and if not, he might push lower, looking for other targets, and yes, looks like that's exactly what he's doing. So I'll take advantage by flying above him, ready to pounce if he tries to climb back up. But no, he's decided to engage the furball, so I'm left with control of high altitude by default in this battle. So I started to press downwards as I flew across the zone, but for now nobody wanted to climb at all, which left this Wellington undefended, and look how my plane wobbled around after a slight course correction. It's very hard to feel any sense of confidence flying the P-40. I always feel like the plane's just waiting to stab me in the back in some way. Anyway, I've kept low and I've allowed the welly to climb. Now it should be a simple matter of lifting up to attack from underneath. Guns on target, but he escapes with only a hit. Never mind, I'll just use the mouse aim to turn the plane smoothly and, oh my goodness me. Would you look at that. I almost regain control here with the mouse again, but no, it wants to spin some more. That welly pilot must be laughing his head off right now. So I bring the keyboard into play, figured it out, and now I have a welly to chase. Let's see if I can shoot him down without embarrassing myself a second time. Once more approaching from underneath. I want to make sure I have plenty of speed for the attack. I'll lift up gently. Okay, here we go. First kill is on the board, but that was a lot harder than it should have been. And looks like an SPD has followed me. Yes, but he's considerably lower, which means it should be easy to stall him out and shoot him down without too much of a fuss. I'll just climb above him while waiting for him to appear through the cloud. There he is. He's trying to helicopter up at me, so I'm happy to keep waiting while he exhausts all of his energy. Okay, let's see if I can put the plane into a dive. I don't trust the rudder right now, so I'll use a split S instead. And once again the reticle wobbles all over the place. It should have been a simple kill, but in the end I'm lucky to have him set alight. Nevertheless, that'll be my second kill in this battle. As I head back into the zone, I noticed Wild Bill, the welly pilot, is on his way up in a hurricane, almost certainly looking for revenge. There he is. Once again I'm going to stick to what works in this plane. Wait until the climber's lost his energy, and then engage with a diving attack. I roll to match his heading, and once again the reticle bounces around, but the 50 cals do their work, and I'm into a shallow zoom climb. Well, so far this has been pretty easy. There are higher tiered planes in this battle, but so far they've been content to muck around in the furball, and my 3 kills have not been much of a challenge. Don't worry, it's not going to stay that way for the whole battle, I can tell you that. But it seems my team is actually starting to lose the battle at low altitude, which doesn't bode well, though I do have a friendly J2M for company up here. Is that P-40 climbing? Yes, I think he is. Lots of spraying and praying down there actually. I'll just turn horizontally while I wait for him to stall, probably waiting a little longer than I need to, and now I can ease into a diving attack. And the 50 cal flamethrowers will claim another victim. Once more up into the shallow zoom climb, the fire does its work, and that'll be kill number 4. Wild Bill is back to try his luck in a second welly. There's still no climbers and the J2M has started boom and zooming, so I may as well go for the bomber. I don't know why so many Wellington pilots try to go head on when they have only one pilot with no armour protection at all. But yes, that's kill number 5, probably 5 of the most humdrum kills I've ever scored in an up-tiered battle. And it seems the J2M has picked up a trailer down here in the form of a climbing P-39, but I dive to attack and he dives as well, so I switch my attention to the climbing P-36, while the enemy Focke-Wulf 190s and Aerocopters continue to brawl down there at low altitude. Quickly into the attack as he's about to stall, and now I have a real struggle to get guns on target, made worse by his wiggling of the rudder, but finally I set him alight. And that should be kill number 6, but the Hawk has other ideas. He starts helicoptering again, as he has it in his mind to take pot shots at a friendly Wellington that's cruising nearby. And while I was waiting for the fire to finish him off, the Blue J2M decided to take the kill. I guess he doesn't realise how hard it is to score 10 kills in an up-tiered P-40. And while I was zoom climbing, I saw Wild Bill's Hurricane climbing up for another shot at revenge, but the J2M was much too quick for me, and he has this one in the bag. There he goes. So never mind, I'll go for the Ki-10 instead. Yes, I'm getting rather desperate now. After all, I've flown by this time the plane in dozens of battles, and I no longer care how I get that 10 kills. Look at that sea of red planes at ground level. It's only a matter of time before they run out of targets and start climbing. But I've opened fire too soon here, the Ki-10 gets time to react, and I can't hope to follow his turning. And now I'm at a perilously low altitude, in real danger of getting caught down here if I don't start to climb. Fortunately, the J2M is still high, so the enemy can't take advantage of my dive and gain control of the higher altitude in my absence. But that does highlight a problem with this plane. Because of its poor zoom climb, it's dangerous to dive too deeply in pursuit of targets. And at a battle rating of 2.0, that doesn't matter, of course, but at 3.7 it kind of matters a lot. Anyway, I've gotten away with it this time. Nobody's picked me up, and I can steadily climb back up to join the J2M at altitude, though it did cost me time and probably other kill opportunities. Anyway, it looks like the J2M's picked up another trailing P-39. I thought the friendly Yak-9T here might have taken him out before I got there, but suddenly I'm faced with a near head-on, and I'm going to be pretty lucky to survive this unscathed. That'll be kill number 6, and I'm flying straight toward a Ki-21, which should make an easy 7th kill, provided I get there first. Keep checking that P-47 in case he decides to climb. I've also got my eye on a Focke-Wulf 190 that's climbing at the back. Okay, Ki-21 in range, hold it steady, guns on target, down he goes. And suddenly I'm facing a pretty scary head-on with a B-7A2, which I have no choice but to accept. Snap rolled away in the nick of time, and got out of the snap roll before I fell into a stall spin. And that's 8 kills, only 2 to go. If I can drop this A4, nothing will stop me getting to 10 kills. But that's by no means guaranteed. I'm in a gentle climb to keep my speed high, and as I watch him, vapour trails appear from his wingtips, so I have the energy advantage here. I gently turn toward him to sharpen his climb angle, as if possible I want to stall him out, but he's wise to that, and he's dived away to regain some speed. Now I just need to keep station above him and await for his next move, and it seems he's decided to start a gentle climb in the direction of the zone. In fact, he's engaging the Yak-9T, who has strangely decided to dive into a head-on with him. Hopefully the 190 will turn to follow him, which could give me a shot at him. And yes, here we go. I've got him on toast now, except I don't roll my plane far enough, the nose lifts, the bullets fly high, and I've missed my opportunity for a 9th kill. Meanwhile, behind me, the Yak has shot down another B-7A2, so I extend away toward the zone while watching in case the Yak re-engages the 190. Except, I'm not sure what the Yak is doing. Looks like he's diving all the way down to the deck. Indeed he is, so I guess I can't expect any more help from that direction. And that's a pity, because the Yak showed spirit. I thought he would be a keen ally in the battle against Rio 980. Instead, well, I guess I could say that he flew like an imbecile, but that might be a bit strong. And if you're wondering where the J2M's gotten to, well, so was I. He's still up at altitude somewhere, but he's left me alone to face this climbing 190, who is becoming a real threat to our chances of winning in this battle. Once again I'm trying to lure the A4 into a possible stall trap. I saw the condensation from his wingtips, and again he dives away before I can attack. In retrospect, I could have attacked then a few seconds earlier, but I wanted to be careful to avoid facing a head-on, which he'd happily accept if I gave him the chance. For now he's diving away, but I have other things to worry about with a P-51 climbing away from the zone. There he is. The J2M2's pressed lower, the Yak-9T is furballing at ground level, so that leaves me alone to keep control of high altitude. And as I look around, the J2M appears to be extending away and side climbing, and the yak is finally shot down. Okay, so I'm thinking I should cover off on that P-51 when the enemy team starts to cap the zone. I have no option but to turn back, so there's nothing I can do to stop the P-51 from reaching or exceeding my altitude. And it seems to be just me and the J2M now, so I can only hope that he'll stick around and help out. After all, between the two of us, we should be quite effective boom and zooming a bunch of climbers, though that P-51 is a real concern. And once again, I'm waiting for someone to stick their neck out and climb. Those last two kills are suddenly looking rather unlikely now. The 190A4 is once again climbing hard. There he is, doubtless hoping that I'll engage him head on, and as soon as his speed starts to drop, he immediately noses over and dives away. This is one pilot who is not going to be rope-a-doped. And my hands really are tied here. If I dive to attack, I'll be caught due to the P-40's poor zoom climb, and I can't climb higher or lead the P-51 away, as the J2M is still outside the zone. And now things take a turn for the worse as the A4 starts climbing in the direction of the P-51, who is above me and now approaching the zone. And I wish I could say the same for the J2M, who appears to have given up on the battle, preferring to run away rather than joining me in glorious combat. So he is bringing shame and dishonour on his family. I've been trying to buy time in case he changes his mind, but in doing so I've climbed past the top of the zone again. So I'm turning and diving back inside, and now things are going to get very serious indeed. The 190A4 has reached my altitude. It's only a matter of time before he attacks, but a more pressing concern is the P-51, which is finally closing in at high speed. So I'm going to face the attack with a snap roll, taking a bit of damage, which could have been much worse, and now I am very low on speed, whereas he will still be carrying a ton of energy. Obviously you can't extend too far in the direction of the 190, though soon it wouldn't matter much as the P-51 is gaining rapidly. I'm going to have to dive. A few rolls and hard turns to throw off his aim, taking another glancing blow on the way, another rudder turn, and hey, what's that? Another P-40 climbing in a nice straight line. Yes, thank you. That'll be kill number 9, and immediately I'm back into the dive. But wait, there's my welly flying friend from earlier in a tiffy. If I can only reach him, that'll be 10 kills in the bag. Taking damage, snap rolling into a stall spin, recovering, about to open fire, and then... So close, and yet so far. And try as I might, I never did get my 10 P-40 kills in an up-tiered lineup. But despite this awkward plane being so heavily outclassed, strangely I had a lot of fun doing this. Maybe I'm just a masochist. And this is normally the point at which I'd ask you to make comments below and point supporters to my Patreon page and then tell you I'll see you in the skies. However, in the making of this video, I sometimes squatted up with friends, one of whom is a regular viewer and commenter on the channel. So I thought I'd finish with a short clip that demonstrates his remarkable flying skills.
Oh shoot, no, oh nuts. I started in the Hawk. I didn't want to start in the Hawk. Dang it. Oh, and I just got rammed by a P-40.
And I captured it all on video. That was excellent.
No, long shot.
That's going online.
No.
This is Longshot signing off. I'll see you in the skies.